Hello financial investors and welcome to the channel. My name is Brent and in today's video we are going to be doing our stock market weekly recap for the 19th to the 23rd of October 2020. We're going to quickly take a look at the past week's changes for the week. Then we're going to go ahead and cover this past week's four main indexes, stock futures going into this Monday, the 26th of October. Then we're going to take a look at the entire S&P 500 performance for this past week, what stocks were up, what stocks were down, what sectors were stronger, what sectors were weaker, and do a comparison of, here is where we came from. Here's what we had as far as a week goes, and then we'll take a look at oil, dollar, silver, gold, bonds, 10-year rate, which has been actually increasing very nicely, and take a look at mortgage rates currently. So that is what we're going to be going over in today's video. With 1 week remaining here in October and the election less than 3 weeks away, it is going to be an exciting few weeks. And then after election, I think that's going to be pretty exciting as well. I think for the remainder of 2020, we may see some pretty crazy weeks here in the market. So we're definitely going to be recapping it and taking a look. So without further ado, if you are brand new to my channel, have not yet subscribed, go down below, hit the red button to subscribe, hit the bell to be notified every time we release a brand new video, and of course give this video a thumbs up, make it blue, and let's get into the video. So the prior week, for the 12th to the 16th of October, it was essentially flat within the S&P and the Dow Jones. S&P put it in 0.19, the Dow Jones at 0.07. That was still pretty positive. The Nasdaq shut up by 0.79%, so that was really well, about 0.75% there, and the Russell 2000 was down 0.23%. So our main indexes were pretty flat, such as the S&P Dow Jones. Tech was pretty positive, and the Russell, those small mid-cap businesses here within the United States, which is kind of helping for a stimulus package, it's down for the week there. Now this week here, going into on Monday, what was Monday? Monday was the 19th of October. We started off pretty negative. I had posted over on Facebook that we were going pretty down. I forgot what it was on Monday. There was some news that had came out that had kind of spiked it there to the negative. In the morning, when I did my Monday morning video, it looked like it was going to open up really positive. It was going to be pretty good. But then it opened on Monday, and I think the stimulus package just didn't get pushed. Like, they're going to be postponing that. Something was going on. Right now, stimulus package is the main highlight of what's going on with the market. It's making a big effect here on the week by week, day by day basis. And I know there's a bunch of other channels covering, stimulus updates every other hour. So I'm not that type of channel. I don't deep dive into that stuff on a weekly or even daily thing. I have other stuff to do with my time, but I think it's still pretty exciting to see what will come of the whole stimulus talks. So Monday down by nearly 2% there, then a little bit of an uptick there on Tuesday by 0.47%, nothing to make up for what it lost on Monday, then down again on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I did see some positive news out there, which I think that kind of helped kind of end the week not as bad as I had initially thought. After Monday's big loss, I thought we may have sold further into the week, but we had 3 positives and 2 negatives. So it's actually fairly decent, and it is down for the week by 0.53%. Putting the S&P 500 still in the positive by 7.26%. So this is actually pretty good as far as the year has done. I think where we are at right now, having moved 7.26% to the upside, is actually really well. Now Dow Jones here, it is slightly in the negative now after this week. Now again, Monday moved to the downside around 1.5%. It is down 1.44%. Spiked a little bit to the upside on Tuesday, moved to the downside on Wednesday. Now here's where it kind of differed from the S&P 500. The S&P 500 had some tech stocks that did really well on Friday. Here in the Dow Jones, all they really have for them is Apple. That's probably their biggest tech stock within the Dow Jones, and it didn't hold up. So it is down for the week by 0.95% versus 0.53 within the S&P 500. I don't know a lot of people who invest in the Dow Jones. I believe it is ticker symbol DIA. If you are buying it on any exchange, if you look up the symbol DIA, that is the Dow Jones. Most of us buy the S&P 500. I own VOO, VOO, and a few other ETFs that track something very similar to what the S&P 500 is. The Nasdaq here beat out the S&P and the Dow Jones as far as the negative. The prior week, the Nasdaq had actually moved up by 0.7, 0.75% there. This week it gave it all back plus some of what it had made last week. So it is down for the week by 1.06%. But look at that year-to-date movement, up 28.71%. And this is all those big tech stocks within there, the FANG stocks, the Facebook, the Amazon, Netflix, Nvidia, Google, Facebook. They've all been blasting off, with this whole illness that's been going on here in 2020. Everyone's been having to close themselves some sides, start up some new subscriptions. I haven't subscribed to Netflix. I haven't subscribed to Hulu or any of that. We use Prime because we do order quite a bit of stuff off Amazon for the kids, and it just kind of helps that all of that is included in a Prime membership. So I do watch television shows on Amazon Prime. So really nice there. Now the Russell 2000 this week, we saw that, which was negative the prior week. This is actually the only index that I was tracking that was positive this week, and this one is up 0.41%. So it still had a rough Monday, a rough Wednesday, but it much better days here on Thursday and Friday than the other indexes. So I think this is kind of showcasing some strength here with the small mid-cap businesses. And this index is down year to date by 1.68%. So it's a little bit behind the Dow Jones. The S&P 500 is beating out that Dow Jones by nearly 7%, and the Nasdaq is beating the S&P 500 by about 4 times over. So pretty interesting there within the indexes. Now currently the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones are expected to open lower. So if you guys are looking for a good time to buy this week, Monday could be your opportunity to buy and see if it does recover. We came out of a mixed week. So not this past week, but the week prior, we were about flat and some negativity out there. Now this week we had negative. So could this following week, could this week that we're going into be positive or negative? I think as we're getting closer to the election, there's more uncertainty of who the next president will be, what sort of changes will come initially from the change. So I think that's what's kind of affecting stocks here in the short term because of the uncertainty, and still the illness is going out there with the numbers going higher on a daily basis. So interesting. Now we are looking over at finviz.com. We're looking at the 1 week performance. So here we have all the companies within the S&P 500. Now looking at this heat map, what sectors were stronger than others? Well, right off the bat, I can see that Google and Facebook, two of the tech companies here within the Nasdaq, were pretty positive. But if you take a look at Intel, down 11%, I posted an article on my Facebook page that Intel actually had sold off a portion of their memory chip business. So Intel unloads its memory chip business for $9 million. And that was a big portion of their business, so that did not go well with the news, and they are down 11% this past week. Microsoft, Adobe, Oracle, Nvidia, Netflix. Look at Netflix, down 8%. Their subscriber numbers didn't come in well. Besides their numbers not meeting expectations, that was what really affected them negatively there. So they are down by a little over 8% there for the week. And that was all due to their subscribers not coming in as they had initially expected. I do see Philip Morris over here down 6.08. Now, most of the sectors out there were pretty red, but I do see some green ones here, so we're going to go ahead and point them out. Banks diversified, so not the credit services, but take a look at JP Morgan, up 2.27, Bank of America up 2.72, Wells Fargo is up 1.84, not as much as Bank of America or JP Morgan, but the week prior, Wells Fargo had lost about 10%, whereas JP Morgan and Bank of America were pretty I believe they were about flat or positive this past week, but Wells Fargo had been hammered the past week. So Wells Fargo is still, they have quite a bit to make up before they do any sort of recovery. I myself invest in JP Morgan, and I had just watched a video this past week from Joseph Carlson. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, he's on YouTube. Just look up Joseph Carlson as it sounds, and he has a recent video out talking about JP Morgan, how they have begun to unload a device sort of like Square and the Cube. I think Cube's another one that kind of just attaches to your phone. You can take credit cards and all that information. I use Chase for my business needs. I think they're a great traditional bank. For business wise, I think JP Morgan is one of the best business banks out there. I had gone with the credit union in the past. I actually work at a credit union, and I had initially started up my bank account through them, but they didn't offer all the online financial tools. They didn't offer being able to deposit my checks via my phone. JP Morgan offered all of these really cool online tools. They offered zero, there's no fees for my business account. I don't have to have any minimum deposits in there, which the credit union did. So it really worked out well. And I think JP Morgan is moving in the right direction as far as where they need to take the business. I think JP Morgan is a strong buy if you are looking for a financial. Definitely check out JP Morgan. I think his video also went really well into the future of JP Morgan as a whole. So banks diversified, they are really popping up this week. We can see also here the smaller smaller regional banks are doing really well. I also saw some healthcare here, so healthcare plans were pretty positive. And I did see one other sector, where was it? Oh, here, the healthcare diagnostics. So essentially, if you're in banks, whether it's the giant banks or the regional banks or in healthcare, I think you did pretty solid this past week. If you have maybe like a quarter of your portfolio, I don't think anybody really keeps a quarter of their portfolio in banks and healthcare, but I think that they had done really well. Every other sector out there is pretty mixed here for the week. Now, moving into oil. Oil this past week is down by 2.89%. I think overall, they're still at a high as far as where they are. They have a high here. Oh, this is not showing accurate. This is showing a high of 106.56. But here in the short term, they had a high of around $32, $33, and they have pulled back. I think there's more room for them to pull back first move forward. The dollar continues to fall week after week. We've been watching the dollar fall from a high of 102.99, and it just has trailed over the past 6 months since the Rona hit back in March. It had just been climbing to the downside week after week after week, and soon it may even break below $90 here, so that'll be really interesting. And I think that's what's driving silver and gold higher. As the dollar falls, silver and gold materials are moving up. So we do have silver moving up 2.27%, gold moving up 0.2. I know Johnny Bravo's channel, another YouTuber with the hair, the high school, I think he's a high school teacher. He had posted a video about gold skyrocketing in the future. I don't think gold has that much of a future. I don't like collecting gold. It doesn't pay me to hold it, as if I was just holding a normal traditional business. I believe that I would get much more appreciation with it, because that business is actually generating profits, generating income, free cash flow. It's producing. It's not just a sitting asset. So I don't like buying a lot of the materials. I like focusing on buying really good companies that also pay dividends, or just growth companies as well. And we have bonds moving down to the downside. I think this is one of the biggest losses in a 5-day change for the bonds. So that is a pretty big hit for bonds. So that is down 0.41% there. Now that did have a big effect on the 10-year rate. So the 10-year, where is it at? I believe it was at 0.77. So 10-year rate, it was at 0.74 was the 10-year bond rate. Now it's at 0.84. That's a 10-point difference to the upside. So I think that is showcasing, I don't know what to make of it, but I think that's a big, something's going on there. I just don't know specifically. Something's kind of going on in the background as far as the dollar and the bond rates and the 10-year rate. So I think that's kind of something out there, but can't put my finger on it. And then mortgage rates this past week rose by 1 basis points, went from 3.05 to 3.06. Hopefully mortgage rates still remain low. I am still in the process of waiting for my home to get built. They haven't even built the foundation because the home itself needs to get approved because of the brand new layout, so they have to get it approved by the city. So I'm really hoping to have this done here within the next 6 months and then lock in a nice yield. So if you're still looking to buy homes, buying a home anywhere in the 3% range, 2% range is still a steal, and would really consider going out there and getting one. Again, we did do our stock market recap. There goes the indexes right there. I like this thumbnail with the indexes up front, so I think I will continue to do this. I really like that style back in the past just because I could go into that specific playlist and look at the week by week difference just by looking at the thumbnail. So visually I can see that last week was pretty positive or flat because the S&P was up 0.19, Dow Jones 0.07, Nasdaq 0.79, and small mid-cap businesses were down 0.23%. I like that visually. And stocks sunk, yeah, so here it is. Stocks sunk on dash hopes for stimulus. So, yeah, they're just a little article they're going over that they're probably going to be postponing stimulus till after the election. So that's kind of affecting the market negatively. Intel article there. I thought that was interesting. I used to buy Intel chips all the time for my computers, and when I built my recent computer, my gaming computer, I actually built it with a Ryzen card, AMD card. So interesting. So that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely go down below, hit the thumbs up, make it blue. If you guys haven't yet subscribed, also hit the red button to subscribe to the channel, make it gray, and hit the bell to be notified every time we release a brand new video. And of course, again, hit the thumbs up. Bye-bye. Have a great day, and thanks for tuning in.